Hi, I am so excited today. I am speaking with Carmen De Jesus, the book writer and co-creator for Prison Dancer the Musical, which just had a sold-out run at NYMF, which is the New York Musical Theater Festival. Yes, so welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Charlene.
You're welcome. Can you just talk about sort of the genesis of Prison Dancer and how it started?
Prison Dancer was inspired by a viral video on YouTube which debuted, I believe, in 2007. In Cebu, Philippines, there is a prison there and there's a security consultant. He wasn't really a warden, but he was a security consultant who implemented a dancing rehabilitation program in a maximum security prison. And my best friend, who I met when we were in Miss Saigon years and years ago, Romeo Candido, he saw it and he thought he was inspired by it. He sent it to me and he said, this would be a great story. He was inspired by the fact that they're telling their story. He's like, we don't have a story to tell. Filipinos, especially in musicals on Broadway, have always played Vietnamese in Miss Saigon, Chinese in Flower Drum Song, Japanese in like Pacific Overtures, Siamese in The King and I. So we've played every other Asian race but ourselves, because there hasn't been a story really that's a platform for that. We first conceived it as a screenplay, shopped it around, and that was kind of dead in the water. Then we went back to our musical theater roots. We adopted the screenplay for stage, entered it into some theater festival competitions in Toronto. That was 2010, and from that we attracted our producer, who really loved the piece. Her name is Anna Serrano, and she runs the Canadian Film Council's Digital Media Lab. She encouraged us to apply for this thing called the Independent Production Fund, which is a grant competition. She's like, you just have to adapt your 90-minute or 2-hour stage musical into 12 5-minute episodes for a web series. You could do that, right? We launched that starting in January of 2012, and we just completed we just launched the final episode the day before we opened at the New York Musical Theater Festival. So
Carmen and I go way back. We met way back at Dearborn Elementary School when we were in, what, 4th, 5th grade? When I met you, Carmen has an incredible voice, and from the moment I met you, it was like, this is the singer. Like, she's a singer, like professional singer, and whenever we would hang out, it's like we would sing, but you always had this, you were always on a different level in my eyes, because you had such confidence about it. Like, there was some ownership to, like, yeah, this is what I do. What were your dreams then?
I wanted to be Alexis Carrington on Dynasty. That's what I wanted to be.
You wanted to be an actress?
I wanted to be Alexis Carrington on Dynasty, a powerful businesswoman with really big shoulder pads, who had a lot of affairs with the
Right.
That's my dream.
That was your dream. Okay.
And like part of me, like the inner child part of me has held on to that vision, and like I even built around it. Like by 35, I'm going to be this multimedia content goddess.
Right.
And I'm going to be like behind, like in a high rise and behind a big table and with my hands on the table making decisions.
Right.
I think it's interesting that your perspective is that, because. And this is something, like, trust me, this has come out in therapy and whatever, but my whole thing is, what you called owning my talent was just being grown up told that that's what you are. But I think it's because I didn't want to do it, or I was made to do it.
Right.
I couldn't fully enjoy the pleasure of just doing it for its own sake.
When you got to, college, or you graduated high school, because you do so many things, that's what I think is really cool. What was your idea about your dreams then? I mean, for me, I thought for sure you would continue in the performance, because in high school, you did a tour, in Saigon, so I assumed from the outside that this was your passion.
My dream was to go to college in Geneva, Switzerland, and become a simultaneous translator for the UN.
Okay.
But my father told me that was ridiculous, and who would want a Filipino girl to translate French, Chinese, or French, Spanish, Italian, and like Tagalog. And basically took a hammer to my dreams. But that was the dream that I had. I loved that. I loved that idea.
So when your father said, "What are you, crazy? You can't do that," you just said, "Okay."
Yeah, and I started doing mock trial at school. He really wanted me to be a lawyer. When I finally left Miss Saigon 3 years later and I started school, I started university at UC Santa Cruz. I was a legal studies major. And I went into advertising out of school. Then I got severe repetitive stress and injuries and like carpal tunnel, and couldn't work anymore, and got into hypnotherapy because it was part of a vocational rehabilitation program that they offered, because I couldn't use my hand. I shouldn't, at the time they didn't want me to do anything anymore. I was on disability that involved me using a keyboard. I started teaching voice again. I started up my hypnotherapy practice, and then I just started writing as well.
One of the things that I was touched, I mean, there was a lot of things that I was touched in Prison Dancer, but one of the things was the idea, what's the difference between wishful thinking and having faith? And I think that's so important, especially when you're on a journey pursuing something that you maybe don't know even what it is, but you're sort of following your own passion. Is there something that you say to yourself? Is there like a personal motto? Do you pray?
I practice a lot of gratitude. I mean, I'm in a default, like that is my default state. When I'm grateful for everything, then I feel completely abundant in this moment.
Right.
I'm grateful for being here right now. I'm grateful that my mom and my family are taking care of my son so that I can be here and pursue my dream. And I'm grateful for everyone who's supported me so that financially, so that I can be here. I'm grateful for even the critics who point out things that I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't see that. And that is, everything flows from that for me. You can't crystallize what you want to see in the future and expect that crystallized, static version to come towards you. But it's kind of like watching a shadow coming out of a fog and becoming more and more defined, coming toward you, as long as you're walking toward it. And to me, that just means, being grateful and fearless and trusting.
Right.
I mean, which is what people call faith. Like, my whole life feels like a big risk right now, but it feels good.
Yeah.
Because, and I feel that there's a rightness to it, and being able to trust that sense of rightness, and know that there's enough gravity and presence of mind and gratitude for the present moment and surrender to whatever's supposed to happen. That's what makes it different than just kind of like, yeah, this is what I want, so I'm just gonna
Right.
That's a law of attraction,
Exactly.
I want it, so that's a law of attraction.
Exactly.
That's not quite it. Everything that I love about the work that I like to do is about creating relationships, like fulfilling ones, inspiring relationships.
What do you want your legacy to be?
I want people to say, oh my God, that girl Carmen, I love her. She's so inspiring. Whenever we're around, I just get a rush of great energy. I want a lot of people crying at my funeral. How about that? That's my legacy. I want all you guys to cry and lament that I am no longer in existence. I want the list of the people who read shit at my funeral to be it's like everyone has a thesis. When Carmen changed my life. There, I said it. I'm a narcissist. No, I'm kidding. It's just that's I joke, but that's what I hope.
Well, for me personally, thank you so much. It's been such a wonderful experience to be a part of this journey with you. And
thank you, Charlene.
Thank you. And the last part is we dance. I'm going to get you to dance, Carmen. For more information on Prison Dancer, the web series, log on to YouTube to watch all 12 episodes. I'm Charlene. Don't forget to log on to dreamdiaries.me, the only social network dedicated to inspire and share in the journey of pursuing our dreams. And remember, the journey is always worth it. See you soon.